I would be lying to you guys if I said this is how episode 2 would start out. I didn't expect this. Now bear with me, a studio or a shed like this shouldn't really have a permanent foundation because they're really not supposed to. I wanted to because I wanted to overbuild it and make it really nice. Do polished concrete floors and kind of overdo the thing, right? Well, this snow's not gonna let me do that. Now I just went and bought all the material for this whole place. And I'll explain more of what we bought when it shows up. $2,048.70. I got all of my plating material, my 92 1/4s, my 104 1/4s, my 2x8 for rafters. I got a 4x10x16 for the ridge beam, all of my sheathing goods for my walls, my floor system, and the roof. I bought a vintage 2x8 fascia board, a little bit on the higher end of things. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm doing that. I just realized I bought 2x8 fascia board, but I also have 2x8 rafters. And when the rafters cut on a 4 and 12, it's actually gonna be taller than the fascia board. I'm probably gonna have to take and on my seat cut, go up and create like a 2x6 tail that comes out. That won't be bad though, that'll look good. And I paid $75 to deliver it. Not too bad. And that's gonna build out the majority of this. I'm still missing the joist for in between here, but let me explain what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Now, considering that this is a studio or a shed, it's just an accessory building. It doesn't have a bathroom. It's not finished living, right? Although it'll be insulated, it'll be nice inside. I don't have the ability right now to do this super nice foundation that I wanted to do. So went and picked these bad boys up, $10 a piece. They are 11.5 by 11.5 concrete with a 4x4 post base. So how are we gonna do this? I'm gonna put 4 on the corners. That's gonna support the outside. I'm gonna put 2, 1 on each side in the center, and that's gonna be it. I bought 2x10, so it'll span that 10 foot. It's actually like 9'6", and that's what we're gonna do. So for the rest of the day today, I'm gonna clear out this snow. We don't have snow in the forecast for a couple more days, and that's all I need. Tomorrow, I get material dropped. I'm going to go through, band this thing, sheet the floor system, frame my walls, frame my roof, and get this thing going. That's the plan. Welcome back to a new video. For compaction, I got that. Any digging I need to do, I got that. It's mushy. I'm gonna need more gravel. I'm just trying to get an example here. It's mushy. I might end up pouring concrete down there. Ground's a lot wetter than I expected. So my plan is something like this, where I've got this post base right down in the footing where I wanted it originally. And what we'll do is we'll put 1 here, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the end. We'll put a 4x4 coming out of here, kick off both ways to make sure it's nice and plumb. And we'll do the same thing all the way around, all 6 of them. And we should be able to build this thing. I plan on starting the floor system somewhere about here. So our floor will be up here, kind of match the floor system of the house. Build some nice steps going down to concrete landing pad in the front. When we side it, we'll skirt all the way down to the bottom. It'll be good. Like I said, it's not ideal. I'm not overly thrilled with this, but it's what we're gonna do. This is a puddle. That's already open. All I'm gonna do there is take and pour in concrete and let it set. All right, that one's open, that one, that one, that one. We'll flatten them out when I get back. I think that's gonna be the move though. This is gonna be such a good addition to this house. So all we're really looking to do is compact this little area here where my post base is gonna sit. Now I don't have to be all the way out to the front of this because the beam can run out a little bit past where the post base actually supports. Spread it out, flatten it out. It's raining right now, so this will saturate the rainwater and some of the water down on the ground. And like I said, all we're looking for is a nice flat surface here that I can put that post base on and we'll be good to go. 4 more to go. The rain's doing its thing, slowly saturating these. It's pulling the groundwater up, any of the water that was down in this footing before. The only thing that does matter when it comes to accuracy on this is that these line up perfect, but I snapped these and dug them. So I know they're pretty straight, and I know that we're pretty parallel over. So that little bit of prep work definitely helped out. If this isn't making sense to you right now, I promise you it will tomorrow. These back ones though, they might need a little more attention. So tomorrow we'll do what we call running beams wild. Regardless of where we put these, we're gonna run them wild both sides and we'll cut them and trim them down to where we can square this building up. Not ideal. I would never do this in a regular situation, but considering the situation we're in right now, I ain't got a choice. Obviously, I'll have to go back and flatten all of them out. Some of these don't need that much. This back one sucks. I'm gonna get a shovel and try to dig like a canal out this way to get this bad boy to drain. So I've got some water draining, better than nothing. It's actually flowing pretty good right now. It's getting this freed up in here. All we gotta do is get this out, set these posts. They're gonna go a little something like that. Now you might be wondering why this one and this one are both facing this way and that one is facing the opposite way. My hope, when you put these screws in here, you're only locking in this way, right? So these screws go in, you have 4 on each side. Structural screws we'll put in. That one there will make sure that thing's perfectly plumb, and that's gonna prevent anything from moving this way. This whole thing is gonna be locked together. Tons of hardware, tons of nails, but this will help somewhat. That one needs to go over, that one needs to go over. Get these bad boys in a row. Oh, this looks so chaotic. The snow mixed with everything isn't looking good. So this is what we finished out like all the way around. They're pretty rock solid in here. I'm happy with it. Concrete's setting up. It's gonna take a while to fully cure though. We just need these to be in line all the way through front to back. And the rest I'll figure out as I go. Today is our day to push. We have the majority of the snow that melted. We are looking pretty good. My front yard is clear, my backyard is clear. The studio area is clear. It's a complete mess over there from all the mud, but we're gonna make the best of it. To get the day going, I need to go to Home Depot. We need to pick up those LUS 2.8 hangers, 210s if they've got them, and that's what we're gonna hanger our 2x10 joist off of our 4x10, and that's how we're gonna support the floor system. We're gonna lock this thing together, build out the perimeter with that 4x10, and then joist out the center. But I wanna make sure it's done proper. So we need joist hangers, we need PL 400, and we need a PL 400 gun because I didn't bring one. So I told you guys in the beginning of this series that I was gonna let you in on everything. How much I spent on the house, what I pay for materials, what I pay for any labor that we hire out. And last episode we covered that pretty well, but how much did I actually pay for this house? It was originally listed at $85,000 and my wife and I agreed that that was a little too high. We threw an offer at mid 70s, didn't get it. We got a counter back at 80, didn't like it. We ended up finally agreeing on 79,500. But there was other things. Just recently, they made this big change in the real estate world where each buyer and seller pays their own agent. Now, this brought upon a bunch of confusion in the real estate world because for the longest time, the seller would pay both the buyer and the seller's agent. So the percentage of commission that they get on the sale would come from the seller. Now, they made this change fairly recently, but the seller on this place was nice enough to cover the closing costs on our end as well. All of that adds up real quick. So I'm happy with our purchase price of $79,500. We have comps in this area anywhere from 180 to 215,000. So that leaves a ton of upside potential for us to flip this place in the case we wanted to. So total purchase price $79,500. Last episode we spent about $3,000. This episode we're spending another $3,000. Right about now we're $85,000 into this thing. Now, as far as my overall renovation budget goes, I have about $35,000 set aside to fully gut this thing and renovate. I've gotten quotes on drywall at $6,000. I can do the electrical, I can do the plumbing. I'll paint the place, I'll side it, I'll do the flooring. So my main cost on this project is truly just material. And that is why I've always been such a huge advocate for the trades, because once you know how to do this stuff, it transfers direct into so many different areas. So now you guys know my purchase price, my renovation budget. We'll keep track of those things as we go. $35,000 is my hard cap. I don't really want to go over that, but time will tell. This Home Depot trip, all of my hangers, a step ladder because I didn't bring one, a 4x4x8, a bunch of screws, total $332.81. Go dial in those piers, get the 4x4 pressure treated in there. Hopefully by the time material drops, we are ready to rock and roll. All right, so the only thing we care about is that these are as close to perfect as we can get them. This base down here is killer. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And what we're gonna do is this one to that first one up there, we're gonna sight that through. We're gonna use a string line and we're gonna line up the left side of the bucket here with the middle one and we'll get that perfect as well. Right now it's kind of tilted that way, but we'll get that one taken care of. And then what we're gonna do is pull from here over to that side and we're gonna get those situated. By the end of that, we can put a 4x4 in each one of these, screw it in nice and plumb, and that's gonna act as our leg, our support system for the floor system above. We'll have to put in some 45-degree kickers to lock everything in and really support this thing, give it some shear strength. But that's the plan so far. Let's get this middle one dialed, and then we'll hop over here, pull parallel. I'm pretty sure though, my building plan was supposed to be out to here. I was supposed to be about 10 foot over. Since these have an offset to where my post is gonna be, I'm gonna lose a good 6 inches on this overall building, which kind of sucks because it's already small. Good that way. We're good that way. That's all we got to do. So now this one goes in, that one goes in. The beam itself is going to span from this one all the way over to here, and this is just going to be a center support. I was planning on splitting this beam in half, make it easier to move, but it's a 4x10. I can wrestle the thing. So this is good where it's at. We're perfectly in line all the way through to the center of the bucket. I'm happy with that. So now the problem that I'm running into, it's not really a problem, we're going to make it work, is when I did all this, it was snowing and raining, and I set this post out of line a little bit with that post. This one is kind of close to this one, and this one is pretty close to that one. Doesn't really matter. Structurally, the beam's gonna run continuous all the way through, and then I'm just gonna cut it at the end, so it's ran wild. But aesthetically, doesn't look that great. Need to grab a tape measure, we'll pull over. Moment of truth. How big of a room am I gonna be able to get out of this thing? Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm at like 8'6". Yeah, cause 10 foot was there. It's gonna be smaller than I wanted, but there ain't much we can do about it. I'm gonna line this one up as far out as I can. We'll pull over, we'll match that out there, we'll go from there. Ah, that is a bummer though. I lost a lot of space doing this. So I'm 102.5 inches. I'm gonna be 8'6" overall with my building. Once we have 2x6 walls in there, both sides, that's 11 inches off of this. Man, this is gonna be small. I'm gonna be about 7'6" inside. That is tiny. I'd like to maximize the space as much as possible. I think we might be able to get away with doing that if we put an additional 2x on both sides. If we did the beam here and then a 2x10 on the side, it would just kind of fur the building out a little bit. And I could almost put 2 on each side, lag them into the actual 4x12. That's probably gonna be the move, you guys. These are both good, so we just need a string line from here to here. Don't know how I did that. Messed up the layout this way, but this way is perfect. So let's talk about how to tie up this string line as easy as possible. I want just a temporary hold. Not looking for something all day. I'm just gonna take the string line, wrap it around here, grab here, pull over and across. And all we're gonna do is grab this part of the string here, pull it back, up and over the string line that we wrapped around. And that's gonna give us a nice tight pull. And it's holding just fine. Oh. We're good that way. That should be better. Oh. All right, I'm happy with that. So now we'll put our posts in all the way around. It's getting exciting. Something's coming together. All right. I am stoked. This is what we needed. I'm gonna set the laser up in the back. We need to fasten all of the posts down into the post base and then cut the tops of all of them. Put on these little BC4Zs, the post caps that I overpaid $11.99 for on each one of those. Screw those in, set those 4x12. We're gonna run them long. We'll get some squaring going on back there. It's gonna be good. I'm actually, this is the most excited I've been. Easiest way to cut these things. Now these are all gonna go the same way because they need to hold the beam. So they're all gonna go like this to where the beam pockets in here. Even the ones in the middle that we did intentionally the opposite way. By the way, any tools that we use in these videos, all of them, can be found in the description down below. What I'm seeing here, I know you guys aren't seeing it from over there, is I have this back like 3 feet that I'm cantilevered now. Since we're doing the floor system differently, we have an opportunity to make it bigger. So I could, in theory, I think I would be short a little bit of material, but I could go to Home Depot. I could leave this right where it's at, match the fronts, run the beam across, but then let this back half cantilever a good 3 feet right here. The rule of thumb with cantilevers is whatever you're cantilevering out here, meaning whatever you're floating, this section here, you would want to be 3 times that in the building. So if we have 3 feet, we would want 9 feet in the building, which we've got. So there is potential here to leave this the way that it is, float this back half, put that one in, float that back half, and this whole back section here would just hang. And I could gain some square footage because right now I'm losing square footage. I'm gonna get this one in, match this front section, huck hanger huck hanger, and I think we're gonna leave that the way it is, maximize space. It's gonna cost me nothing. I like that. Now we're gonna check for level the easiest possible way. Could we put a level on it? Yes, but we can also just say that we're 1 3/4 inches there, and that at the end of my cantilever, we are 1 3/4 inches. When you're good, you're good. This one, you can't get any better. You couldn't get better if you tried. Once again, our standoff on our laser is 1 3/4 inches. We don't care about the middle, we care about this end. We are 1 11/16 inches. I built a ridiculous, in the snow, Home Depot foundation, and we are within 1/8. The ultimate test, let's shoot over there and see if they're the same. That'll be the ultimate, did I do good or not? So once again, 1 3/4 inches is our golden number. If this is 1 3/4 inches, you guys, I want you to know you're witnessing greatness. I'm also gonna let you know, I'm surprised it's this close. Let's fasten all these. That should be perfect. Now I have ways of checking if we're actually square, but as of right now, this is what I want to do. So I took my speed square up against the laser there, and once it was shining perfectly along the edge, I let it run over. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but that's what we're doing. Now, to prevent making a mistake that I can't fix, I'm not going to cut the excess off just yet. Now what these are doing here, this is locking into the wood here, and then this is going to allow me to hanger my 4x12 over to that one. I don't have to have any support underneath it. That's good, we got 5 in each of them. Now when we install these, you don't want the outside to line up with the line, you want the inside here. So you have to kind of eyeball it, and then you also have to make sure that the bottom of the bucket here is flush to here. If this is flush to here, your material is going to stick up 1/8. So the easiest way that I've found to do these is get the bottom perfect, push the top over, pin the top. We'll do the same thing here. And that's it for that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's not. Never mind. I lied to you guys. There we go. So now what we're going to do is pull a number. When you use huck hangers like this, there's something you have to keep in mind. A typical hanger here, you would nail on the outside of the flange, and you would butt your material here to pull a number. With a huck hanger, you're nailing on the inside here, or screwing in my case with these SDS screws. You have to pull a number butting the SDS screw, butting that one over there. This material isn't going to touch the other wood here. It's going to have a 1/4 inch standoff because of the head of that SDS. You need to account for that. 94 3/8. So this is crowned the way that I'm holding it here. Took a little bit of beating on it, but it's in. The other thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna drive the 6-inch timber lock screws we got through the back side of here into here, once we know that it's flush, of course. We're just gonna go right through the back. That sucked it up nice. This gap here is expected since we have the SDWS screws for the huck hangers. I'm just gonna put that one screw in there. I'm gonna get the smaller structural screws for the side here. The SDSs are a little too big. We'll get the tiny guys, put those in tomorrow. Doesn't help that this has a mean bow at the top of it. So that one's wrapped up. They never look good with huck hangers because they always look like they're gapped out and incorrect, but I promise you that's how it's supposed to be. So we'll put the huck hangers on the back now. We'll pull a number from here straight to the back and go from there. So I've got 15'6" is comfortable. Hooking that front all the way over. We'll do the same thing on this side, 15'6". That allows me to utilize a lot of this space back here. So now I'll square these up, huck hanger, repeat the process. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. On to the next one. We have this beam already. I already cut it, so we can just drop it in. Sucked it up nice and clean. Now in the world of framing, floor systems, they lay out at 16 on center. If they are heavily structural, sometimes they'll lay out at 12 on center. So we're gonna hook and do 16 to our centers all the way down this bad boy. I think I bought 10 in total. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm gonna be one short. Now, we'll figure it out later. Same thing, hook the outside. And the reason you lay out those centers is because your sheet's gonna start at the very end and your sheet's 8 feet long. So if you laid out 2 foot and go or 16 and go, you have a joist starting at 8 foot and going, but your sheathing wouldn't break on it. So by hooking and laying out 16 centers, once we get to that 8 foot mark where our sheathing is gonna die, it'll land right on the top of that joist. Crown up, as always. One down. 7 to go. This gun is working good. I'm liking it. Four more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am 1, 2, 3 short. Last one of the day. These little helper nails, they go a long ways. Just gonna tack right here. A couple smacks in, bend it over. You know, we fell a little bit short of my goal for this episode. We had a lot of challenges though. We had a lot of things that we didn't see coming. I wasn't expecting this much snow. Wasn't expecting this much rain. I had plans to pour that foundation, but that didn't work out. And you know, that's just part of building. That's how things go, especially in the remodel space. You're gonna tear into stuff. It's not gonna go the way that you planned, and you have to pivot and figure out how to do it. And that's what we did here. I have 10 pounds of mud on my boots. I didn't really want to push through it, but we got her done. My goal with this episode was to have the floor sheeted or my foundation done, either which way. And we got close. After switching everything from my original slab plan with all of my hold downs that I bought to a post and pier foundation with beams, I was able to get material ordered, dropped, dug out, and put these guys in with concrete in the snow. And we were able to set these beams. We checked it with a laser. We're within 1/8. That's better than I could have done with a slab, and I'm happy with that. We were able to add this cantilevered section at the back at practically no cost. It's a couple rafters, a couple joists, but really not that much. So we gained roughly 30 square feet just on the back section here. The building did shrink down a little bit this way. We are right now about 9 foot. I have a plan that puts me a little bit closer to that 10-foot number that I was looking for, but we'll get into that and more in the next episode. This feels good. This thing's solid. I will be adding some 45s going up to kind of lock the thing in. We don't have much of a shear value this way. We're locked in pretty good this way now that this is on here, but we need to figure out a way, which is easy with some braces, to prevent movement going back and forth. If you guys are new here, welcome. If you guys have been here a while, I appreciate you. This is the beginning of a project that I feel like is going to be very rewarding. We're gonna sheet this out, frame these walls, and have a nice furnished area where I can lay my head at night while we gut this thing and tear into it. I'm gonna get out of the rain before I'm too wet. I'll see you guys in episode 3. What a mission.